let's take a look at the question number 9, which is which looks very like a real world scenario of an S&OP. Okay, so most of you, if read something like this, it's gonna, it calls you, like, you feel like there are like little too much information here. Okay, so that's another challenging aspect when it comes to a problem like this. But really, what you need to do is cool down yourself and give you a little time to decompose sentence by sentence, so that you can understand this and find a way to build a linkage between the current problem and the problem that we did in the past. Okay, so let's struggle together. I only take a look at briefly. So the Forrester and Cohen is a small accounting firm. Okay, so this looks like an accounting firm named Forrester and Cohen, and managed by Joseph Cohen. So this is a guy who's running the place. Since the retirement in December of his partner, Brad Forrester. So this was the partner, but he's now retired. Okay, interesting. Cohen and his 4 CPAs together bill 775 hours per month. So this basically means the monthly capacity from 5 CPAs, the 4 CPA plus Cohen. So current workforce, you have 5, right? Total capacity is 775. This is like a production capacity, right? And per workforce or per CPA capacity, it's gonna be this. Per person have up to 155 hours per month. When Cohen and another accountant bills more than, 155 hours per month, he or she gets an additional overtime pay of 63. So overtime pay is 63 per hour per person, or per CPA. Right? What else? This is above and beyond $5,000 salary each draws during the month. So regular monthly pay, which is 5,000 per CPA. Cohen draws the same base pay as his employees. So Cohen strongly discourages any CPA from working more than 230 hours in any given month. So what does this information tell us? Okay, recall the previous problem, including some overtime. Okay, so that this information basically is telling us what is the maximum capacity for the overtime. So I'm going to say overtime capacity, which is basically 230 minus 155. So this is a per CPA. So total OT capacity will be this times 5. Okay? Hours. Because you have a 5 CPA, each can work 75 hours maximum as an overtime. That gives you 375 maximum overtime capacity. So this, I should say, per CPA. And the demand for billable hours, basically this is demand for the firms over the next 6 months is estimated below. Yeah, this is a quite interesting problem. And all the parameters are fairly real world looking, even though I believe the base salary is a bit lower than what's the salary in nowadays. But as you can see, this is a tax season. You have a very high demand and so forth. So Cohen has an agreement with Forrester, he's a former partner, to help out during the busy tax season, up to 230 in any given month if needed, for an hourly fee of 125. So this is more like subcontracting. Okay, Forrester subcontracting. Okay, and which is 125 per hour. Forrester fee, and you also have a Forrester capacity of 230 hours. So at the maximum, Forrester can work 230 hours. Okay, and Cohen will not even consider laying off one of his colleagues in the case of slow economy. He could, however, hire another CPA at the same salary as the business dictates. So if you think about it, this is basically telling you what's the possible solutions when the demand is higher than your current working capacity. You're doing it in the order of regular capacity, overtime capacity, subcontracting capacity, and if that still does not enough, you will consider hire one additional CPA. Okay, that's what it is. And it looks like it has more than part A, but this only includes part A. So develop an aggregate plan for the next 6-month period. Enter your responses whole number. Oh, those are scary part when it is my lab assignment. Use regular time, overtime, Forrester, then hire. Oh, you see, this is what I said. You have 4 different ways or 3 additional ways beyond regular time in pursuing the demand. For the CPA column, only include Cohen, his 4 CPAs, and any new CPA he may hire in your total. Okay, so basically we're talking about 5 CPAs to begin with. Okay, then we add overtime, then we add a Forrester, and there's still not enough, then we'll add one more CPA. The CPA column or CPA cell will become 6 CPA from that point forward. Because once a CPA is hired, he or she is not going to, Cohen is not going to let go of that CPA once it is hired. He or she is hired. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So this is an interesting problem. Let's see. Move it on. So let's begin with a 5. Okay, let's begin with a 5 and regular time billable hours. So you have a 5 and each with 150. Okay, instead of do that, times 55. All right, and regular time cost is going to be for 5 people, since each is getting paid with a 5,000, 25,000. And you didn't need to use any overtime because your demand is smaller than what you can offer in a regular time. So it's going to be 0, 0, 0, 0. No forest was involved. It's the same for the next one, I believe, right? I believe this is going to be the same here. Oops. Yeah, this screwed up. I didn't do absolute referencing here. Okay. And with here, we may not have enough people. We'll see. Okay, so we are, let's look at here, okay? Hours short. Just use a convenient name here. Minus this guy. Right here. Okay, this guy right here. 336. 336. And 336 needs to go to overtime. And each overtime, you're paying how much? $63 per hour. Okay, so this is your additional expense beyond the regular time cost. Still, nothing needs to go to the former partner, who's Forrester, I believe. And still 5. I think that's still the same number. 775. Let's just do this and this. And we need overtime as well here. Minus this. So this is scary looking 567 hours. Because our maximum overtime capacity, our maximum allowed overtime is 375. So we're maxing out at 375 hours. And the cost wise, each overtime is $63, right? And here, and then Forrester gets the rest. So after that, 192 hours. So this is basically total demand minus regular hour minus overtime hour, and then you still have 192 hours short. So those hours will go to Forrester's. Okay, and Forrester is getting paid how much? Ooh, this guy getting paid a lot, $125. Okay, $125. 129, let me double check. Yeah, this is correct. 29, 125. Yes. And yet this is not exceeding 230. Okay, so if that were exceeded to 30, we'll have to hire one additional CPA. And from this point and forward, you're looking at 6 CPAs, and will contribute another 155 hours toward the regular time. But luckily, we didn't have to do that. Okay, so here, all those two cases, we see that the demand is lower than the maximum regular time. So I would just do it like this, because no one is hired. Okay, it looks messy, but all of them is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so what other things you need to know? So what is, okay, let me double check whether I got it correct. Yeah, so everything is correct, which is good. Good. So your total cost is this column, right? Added by this column, added by this column. So that total 218,793 here. 218,793, which is exactly the same with this solution, which is good. So as you can see that the S&OP problem can be very interesting if you think this is interesting. Okay, so yeah, this concludes this video.